So we're going to talk about what a VLAN is, but before we do that, we got to remember what a LAN is, or a local area network. A local area network includes all of the devices in a single broadcast domain. Now that's a very simplified definition, but again, that broadcast domain is usually in a certain geographic area, or a small area like a branch site, or a larger area like a headquarters. So what is a VLAN? A VLAN is a virtual LAN, or a virtual broadcast domain that you can create across one or more switches. These VLANs can be programmed into the switch, and they allow you to group users and ports into separate broadcast domains across a geographic area, as opposed to positioning them all in one broadcast domain in a single physical area. Why do we want to do this? We want to do this in order to limit the size of our broadcast domain. Instead of having one large broadcast domain, we can actually have smaller broadcast domains which are more efficient, and then we can actually transfer the data between those smaller broadcast domains. It also is a way to enforce security and access control. If I put this group of devices in this VLAN, they can't talk to that group of devices in another VLAN unless I allow them to. So it's a way of isolating traffic, being more efficient in how we design our networks, and making smaller broadcast domains, just like we do with the collision domains in a switch. In a legacy LAN, we would have to separate these broadcast domains by grouping them on separate physical hardware, as you can see in the drawing, and then route between those with a router. Using modern VLANs, we're able to use hardware and software in the switch to physically separate these networks on individual ports. So I can specify port by port, device by device, which hosts are members of which broadcast domains or VLANs. And in this way, I still have to use my router to route between those, but I no longer have to have separate physical hardware to separate my broadcast domains. And the switch is able to keep track of that in its MAC address table, where as I see traffic coming in, I not only record the MAC address and the interface that that host is attached to, but I also record the virtual local area network, or VLAN, that they're attached to as well. So port 0 and 1 are part of VLAN 1, and port 2 and 3 are part of VLAN 2. Please join me for the next lesson where we learn how to configure VLANs on the switch.